Welcome to the Sharing the Heart of the Matter podcast. Join us as we celebrate the brilliance of authors, storytellers, and creators. I'm Wynne, and in this inspiring episode, my co-host Vicki Atkinson and I are with author and poet Lauren Scott. Lauren tells us about her beautiful book, King Copper. In the wake of having to say goodbye to her beloved 14-year-old chocolate lab, Lauren started writing poetry as a response to the booming silence. She found purpose in the writing, as well as some necessary busyness. It was a way to honor Copper, as well as find his voice. Lauren shares some of her poetry. We gush about the beautiful pictures of her precious pup. And more than that, we relate to the incredible joy and grief that comes with our beloved pets. This is a great episode featuring a beautiful poet celebrating a life of love. We know you'll love it. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Wynne. Hi, Vicki.
Hello,
We
dear.
are so excited to have you back to talk about this beautiful book, King Copper. It's like a heart hug for anyone who has loved and lost a pet. So we were hoping that you could tell us about how you came to write and publish this book.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me again. It's an honor. And I love the idea of a heart hug. So thank you for that too. I want to start out by reading the back cover, and then I'll go into it. King Copper is a poetic account of the joy that arises when a lovable chocolate lab walks into your life and changes it forever, and the eventual heartache you feel when he crosses over the rainbow bridge 13 years later and still too soon. This book was unplanned. After the first of the year, I had every intention of starting to work on my second children's book. But as we all know, life doesn't always go according to plan. Copper was 14 and a half years old. He had some health issues. One of those was his hind legs were beginning to weaken. So my family and I mean, my husband, myself, we have a son and daughter that are adults. They live out of state. You know, we all were anticipating that fateful day, but in a fantasy way, you think it's never going to come anyway. But on Monday, March 3rd in the morning, my husband and I were getting ready for work, and I was in the kitchen with Copper, and all of a sudden his hind legs went out and he collapsed on the floor. You know, I was surprised, but I tried to coax him to get up. Come on, Copper, get up, you know.
Yeah.
And I knelt down to his level and I looked at him and he looked at me as if to say, I can't. What's happening, Mom?
Right.
Yeah.
And it was in that moment that I realized that this is going to be the day. Now, we've had many dogs in our family, but they all passed organically. They left on their own terms when they received their angel wings. So for us to have to make that heart-wrenching decision, it was a really hard day. Essentially, we were holding Copper's life and his suffering in our hands. And if it happened that day, it was going to happen again.
Right.
Copper was 80 pounds of love, 80 pounds of mischief, and 80 pounds of muscle. He wasn't the biggest dog, but he was a big dog. So if he couldn't walk, then what kind of life would that be for him?
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip a lot of details, but my husband and I took him to the emergency vet that morning. And by then I was a mess emotionally. We had already called our kids to let them know.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked with the vet. She assessed Copper. And I told her, I said, I don't want to be an adult today.
Yeah.
I want someone to tell me what to
Yeah.
do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she said, I can't tell you what to do, but I will tell you that whatever you decide, I will support. Now, this was comforting because she told us that she had told many pet parents, no,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do this. This isn't the time.
Yeah.
But based on Copper's health and his age, it would be the best thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I will tell you that before I made that decision, it was up to the family, but I was Copper's main caregiver. I was with him more.
Yeah.
So the decision was ultimately up to me. But we called the kids before we made the
Mm-hmm.
decision.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all a sobbing mess. But the days to follow, I had more time alone at home. My husband and I both work, but he works a few more hours than I do. So I had more time at home to think, to
Mm-hmm.
cry, to miss Copper, to miss my shadow,
Yeah.
to hear the booming silence.
Yeah.
And so I began writing through the grief
Mm-hmm.
in poetry form.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave my emotions and grief a place to go, a
Yeah.
destination.
Yeah.
After I saw many of these grief poems formed, I remembered that I had written several poems of Copper when he was with us, fun poems, joyful poems. So then I thought, well, I thought maybe I'll put a book together that would not only be a tribute to him, special for our family, but maybe would help others who are going through the same thing that I was.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how the book came to be.
Yeah.
But it's not all sad.
Yeah.
It, as you both know,
No.
it starts out with all, joyful poems.
Mm-hmm.
Then it segues into the grief. And then it lifts up at the end because with any grief, we move through the various stages and we
Mm-hmm.
reach some level of acceptance
Mm-hmm.
that he's in a better place. He's not suffering. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
love that you said
Woo!
this is an unplanned book because we never want to
Mm-hmm.
plan for these types of events with our dear pets. We wish, as you said, that we didn't have to face these
Yeah.
realities. Right.
Yeah.
And we loved all of our dogs equally, but no more, no less. But I'm in a different stage in my life where Copper landed in a book,
Yeah.
but all of our other dogs are mentioned in it too.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And you wrote this in the 4 months after his passing. Did keeping him close, was that cathartic for you to really, feel him near as you put this together?
yes, it was very cathartic. Copper was with me then, he's with me now.
Mm-hmm.
Putting the book together, compiling the poems, it gave me a purpose,
Mm-hmm.
kept me busy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The only challenging part, besides if you've self-published a book, you know how it's not an easy task.
Right.
But the challenging part was reading some of the poems over and over, editing.
Mm-hmm.
They still get to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the challenging part, but it was cathartic. Yeah.
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 I think sometimes the tendency in my experience for pet owners is to just move on too quickly. And you write about this, the fact that, Copper was part of your life when your grown children were out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
You were a mom, he was your boy,
Mhm.
and you had a lot of that time together. And I think, in some ways, even though no one, wants to replay their grief, that time that you had in those empty spaces that were really still filled with him.
Mhm.
You know, I as I read, I thought, oh, the motivation was there if you could find your strength to do it because he was there with you
Mhm.
and his personality comes through, so much in the not just the verse, but the choice of images that you
Mhm.
use. I mean, he's very present throughout, but I think, having that time where it was just you
Mhm.
in the house with, out your kids, without your husband, without another pet, without,
Mhm.
another soul, kind of made it personal for you to honor Copper.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, you know, putting the book together, maybe in a sense I was doing it for him too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So even though I was missing him, doing that for him helped me along the way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I told you I've kept him close, sitting here at my desk.
Thank you.
I
Um,
love this so much that he's such a pretty boy.
Mhm.
He's such a pretty
he's a
boy.
beautiful dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can add, we adopted him in March of 2012. And our prior dog, Lucky Girl, was a black lab mix.
Mm.
So we were ready for another dog at that time, but we didn't want a yellow lab. We didn't want a black lab. And I was perusing through a lab rescue website online, and Copper just, well, he, he just stood
Yeah.
out.
Right.
Yeah.
And he came with a name which matched his beautiful copper colored coat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he just stood out. And I just knew that I had to meet him. And one of his unique traits, he had these amber eyes.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
This
Yes.
one.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
My son took that photo and he just had those amber eyes that seemed to see right into our soul.
Mhm.
Gosh.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
you wrote a couple of poems in here that come from his voice, and
Yes.
they bring me to tears every time.
Yeah.
Just thinking about him, like always by your side. Could you hear his voice as you wrote those?
I could,
Yeah.
I don't know. I could hear his voice.
Yeah.
I wanted to give him his voice because I wanted to think, what would he be feeling as he looked inward to his family
Right.
as we were grieving, missing
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is when I read those poems, those are the ones that get the best of me. My
Yeah.
emotions just, I
Right.
Me too.
usually can't make it through.
Right.
Yeah.
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 I'm
But
sitting.
I felt that that was important to
Yeah.
have, to
Yeah.
let him speak.
Right. And as he says, I'm sitting by your side. I'll never go away. My love for you runs far and wide. I'll never go astray.
Right.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And as hard as all of that is, then it's, I think putting this together, I can only imagine, how challenging it was, Lauren, because you did such a beautiful job of bringing that poignancy of giving Copper a voice, which,
Mhm.
you did that, but then you
Yeah.
need to read it,
Mhm.
and sort of like find a place for it. But I think that for me, that's an authenticity test. We know that you nailed it, that you got it right. But it's
Mhm.
punctuated with just the most beautiful,
Yeah.
this silly boy, images. I think of all the photos in the book, the one on page 14 with, the belly rub and the ball, right? And
Mhm.
and as you said, making the choice that you did about, the quality of life, he had exuberance all over him.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so you were put in an unthinkable position.
Right. Right.
I like to think that in a collection of poetry, my poems would speak for themselves. But in this case, I felt that the family photos had to be in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gave a visual to us again, to the readers. Um, I just felt that they added a richness to the book.
Yeah,
Well, and I think,
definitely.
one of my favorites is this one of
I
Copper
know.
and your daughter with their big toothy smiles. It makes it, we could just get to see his, as Vicky said, exuberance, his
Mhm.
personality. It just adds to the good feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just a big, lovable baby.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got that shot. I call it a miracle
I
with
wanted to ask you about that. How did you,
it.
he's such a poser, your beautiful
Yeah.
Copper, right? But how did you get him to do
I
that?
don't know. I don't remember. But it's just like the cover of the book. If you hold up the cover of the
Yes.
book, it's like he's breathing in the beauty of
Yeah.
autumn. You know,
Yeah.
it was just a luck. It was just
Perfect.
a lucky
Well,
moment.
not only that, but I love, every dog we've ever had always knew how to do that casual front paw,
Yeah,
Right.
pose, which was always an indicator that they're like the ultimate in chill.
Yeah.
If both front paws are down, they're ready to romp,
right,
if they need
Right.
to. But when one, or heaven help us, if both are tucked under, that means, it conveys so much. But
right.
his face, oh
Yeah.
gosh.
He was pretty regal. He was regal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we gave him the name King. I mean, we didn't call him King Copper, but he was King Copper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I was trying to think of a title for the book, it just popped into my mind. It's like this is what
Yeah.
works, you
Yeah.
know.
So perfect.
It is
So
so
perfect.
perfect.
And the response to your book has been amazing. Amazing.
I am amazed. I'm humbled. I'm touched that Copper has touched so many,
Mm-hmm.
many lives, so many other
Yes.
hearts.
Yeah.
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 Well, I think being brave and vulnerable, you could have, like Wynne said, this, reminding, our viewers and listeners that you did this in 4 months. You could have done it and kept it private, within your family. It could have been that piece that helped the four of you and all the people, around that loved Copper, I'm sure. But the
Mhm.
fact that you chose to give it to the world, it is something that I think, Wynne and I, this is like the heavy head nods. I think most people have been
Mhm.
through this experience of
Yeah.
having to make that choice
Hmm.
when it wasn't really clear, that death was imminent. But I think the fact that you did that, I think it just, people will gravitate to you and to his story because there's bravery there, right,
Right.
Wynne? Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. I think, are all it brings up not only the beauty of Copper and his life with you and the life that you gave him after you adopted him and
Yeah.
after you chose him and he knew how lucky he was. But it just, you know, it's all of our pets and the loyalty that they provide and
Mhm.
thanking them for their service and friendship and love.
Yes.
Thank you for saying
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Absolutely beautiful.
And I love that behind you today, and this was not planned, but you just, speaking of bridges,
Yeah.
your backdrop behind you, that wasn't an intentional thing. That,
Mhm.
yeah, but
Right.
yeah, there's that rainbow bridge, we'll call it. Hmm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Um, you guys know because you read the book, but Copper came, we adopted him in March of 2012, and he left our lives in March of this year,
Mhm.
2025. So that was serendipitous in itself.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think before we end here, I'd like to read that poem at the end of the book.
Oh,
We'd
please.
love
If
Yeah,
that.
you want me to
That would
do
be a
that.
great way to.
please. We're turning to our pages too because
Yep.
we're going to follow
Oh,
along with you, right? And just so you know, I've been wiping my eyes a little bit and I'm
Yeah.
sniffing a little bit, so I have my tissue here. So there's no shame in this. It's
No,
all
there
good.
isn't. All
Mm-mm.
good.
Yeah, we're with you.
okay. Um, all right. It's called March to March. From March to March, he arrived with youthful spirit, and left with angel wings. 13 years in the spaces, now glowing memories around each corner. We celebrate his life, those soul-searching eyes that connected to us. We were links in a golden chain, and now one link is missing, our golden boy. Each day tears follow like a shadow, the shadow he was, but smiles gently find their place because he is in our hearts, because joy needs room to simmer.
Yes.
So good. So good.
Yes.
In writing this or in putting this book together, I just hope others find comfort.
Yeah.
Or going through what my family has gone through.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we open our hearts to love and then we experience loss, tears will follow.
Yeah.
I want my readers to feel free to grieve.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to cry. It's not a weakness. It's a human emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And to just and to also be reminded that grief has no timeline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's been 7 months for us and we still, get teary-eyed.
Yeah.
Things shift, but
Yeah.
we still miss him very much and we still
Yeah.
have those moments.
Yeah.
But in some magical ways, he continues.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Of course.
and so that gives him sort of a little taste of eternity, right? As he sits on bookshelves, in
Right.
bookstores, right? Greeting the people, saying, hey, look
Yes.
at me
Yeah.
over here. Yeah.
And we have photos of him all over the house. My my son, after Copper crossed over the Rainbow Bridge, had dog tags made
Oh, yeah.
that we all have. Prior to Lucky Girl, we had another dog named Lucky, and then Lucky Girl came, and then
Right,
that's Copper's dog tag, and I still wear it sometimes, but
okay.
right now his picture is on my Apple Watch.
Oh,
He's
good.
Perfect.
Good.
But my son had these dog tags made.
Oh, I see.
I have it hanging in my car, and that was special. So Copper's with us. He's still with us in so many ways.
Yeah. Well, and I'm such a big fan, and Wynne is so supportive of all of these things related to writing for wellness, whether you identify as a poet or a writer or an author, but just that idea of getting the inside out, whether it's for your own personal, consumption and solace, or whether it's, writing that is shared. I think you've demonstrated, Lauren, that it's such a powerful technique that can benefit the individual, but it can have far-reaching implications in terms of providing support to the grieving.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Because I've heard, and I know that you too probably have as well, as people were like, I know it was just people who will say, I know it was just a dog, or I know it was just a cat, but it was, that being was so important to me. And boy, Vicky's been through it. I've been through it. It's not just anything. This kind of love is it's just wholehearted. It has that richness and fullness, and to see you celebrate that and the tears that go with us, it just it helps all of us who have loved all of our pets so dearly.
Yeah.
It's unconditional love. I mean, you can't compare a human loss to a pet loss,
Right.
but pet parents know that unconditional love.
Yeah.
And there's another picture in the book. It's on page 12.
Page 12. Okay.
It was a moment where I was upset about something, and I don't remember what I was upset about. But Copper just rested his head on my knee, And he knew. It's like I wrote, he knows when we're sad. I've never been a cat owner. I can't speak for cats, but dogs know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
They're
gosh,
Right.
they're
said
so
earlier.
aware.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our
They
Like
little,
I,
feel your
like I
emotions.
said
yeah.
before we started recording, Cooper, my dog, came
Yes.
in just to join the conversation because he knows
Yes.
too.
Yes. Yeah. They're
Super
so
sweet.
sensitive and aware.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
And when you said that, Lauren, I thought about my husband Paul was in a really bad car accident many, many years ago, but he has mostly 100% hearing loss in his left ear. And our little rescue puppy dog, Sadie, from the moment we brought Sadie home, oh, now you're going to give me a moment. She knew she needed to crawl up on his left shoulder, and
Oh,
she gave no attention ever to his right ear, but his
Mm-hmm.
left ear always got all the love. And we're like,
oh gosh.
how did she know that?
Yeah.
Right? But there's something about like a shared heartbeat or something that,
Mhm.
dogs and maybe cats too. Well, Simone might be an outlier. She's a little standoffish as a
Mm-mm.
cat, I believe, but
Oh.
you're right. His head on your knee, it's like, "Hi, Mom.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm here." He's still there,
yeah,
He's still
right?
there.
yeah.
Mhm.
He's here right now.
So true.
Well,
We
your
are.
book is doing so well, but when we know that Lauren mentioned that she put a children's book in progress kind of off to the side. So what are you working on now?
It's a book about our camping experiences as a family.
Mm,
And
Wow.
it's called Carly and Charlie Go Camping.
mm,
And it's told from the perspective of our son and daughter.
mm.
And
Oh,
that's the title I chose now. It could change,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to be a fun book about camping, but also informative
Mm-hmm.
okay.
because
Cool.
my husband has always been the outdoorsman, camper, backpacker, and he introduced that to us. And then later he and I went backpacking. I started backpacking in my late 50s. And there's just nothing like being outdoors, pitching a tent,
Mm-hmm.
listening to the songs of nature, letting the kids run around and create their own worlds. And uh, reading is great, but not being plugged in. So
Mm-hmm.
it's about getting outdoors, having fun in nature, learning about bugs and trees and flowers and plants and all the flora and fauna. So it'll be fun. It'll be rhyming. Right now I have it rhyming, which is different.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be different than Cora's quest. There's going to be more text on a page.
Mm-hmm.
That
Wow.
that's what I'm working on, so we'll see what happens.
Wow.
So
So
good.
good. Yep. So
Thank you
good.
so much for coming on and sharing your beautiful copper with us and your big, beautiful heart.
Thank you so much for having me again and listening and reading Copper's story. And yeah,
Mm. Well,
Wow. We're
thank you.
grateful to you for writing it. So thank you for gifting it to all of us, Lauren. Thank you.
yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Our music is composed for Sharing the Heart of the Matter by the exquisitely talented duo of Jack Canfora and Rob Koenig. For show notes and more great inspiration, please visit our site at sharingtheheartofthematter.com.